Hi, this is Munson from Munson Music, and we're going to talk about a really easy way you could strum through That'll Be the Day by Buddy Holly. And it starts out with a really cool guitar intro where you play 4th fret on the B string and kind of do a slide to 5th fret, and then we go high E5, and then B string 5th, and then 8th fret on the G string, and then 5th fret on the high E, and then 5th fret on the B string, and then 7th on the G string, and then 5th fret on the high E, and then 5th on the B, and then 6th fret on the G string, and then 5th on the high E, and then 5th on the B string. So we got 4, 5, slide, 5, 5, 8, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5, 6, 5, 5. And at the very end of that lick, Buddy Holly goes to an E major chord. And the way you play E major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the 1st fret, second finger is going to go to the A string on the 2nd fret, and third finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E major, and it sounds really, really happy. And at the very end of that lick, he just kind of plays 2 E majors, kind of a down, down. So we got 4, 5, 5, 5, 8, 5, 5, 7, 5, 5, 6, 5, 5, E down, down. And then we go into our chorus part, and our chorus actually starts on a D major. And when you play D major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the 2nd fret, second finger is going to go to the high E on the 2nd fret, and third finger is going to go to the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum just the D, G, B, and E, kind of the skinny 4 strings, that'll get you your clearest sound with that. And that sounds a D major chord. And then from the D major, we're going to be going to an A major chord. And when we play A major, first finger is going to go to the D string on the 2nd fret, second finger is going to go to the G string on the 2nd fret, and third finger is going to go to the B string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like A major chord. It sounds really, really happy. And then from the A major, we're going to be going back to D major, and then another D major. And at the very end of the phrase, we kind of play an A major and kind of kill it with the right hand. So we got kind of a down and kill it. And then we go to an E major for a down up. And then we go to an A for a down, down up. Like timing wise. So one thing that I like to do to kind of add to a song like this to make it more interesting is something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite 4/4 strum patterns is down, down, up, down, up. So we took the D major and just tried that a lot. You have D, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So you want to do that a lot to get your right hand used to it. And then if we try that through our chorus, we got D, down, up, down, up, D, down, up, down, up, A, down, up, down, up, A, down, up, down, up, D, down, up, down, up, D, down, up, down, and then A, kill it. And then we go to E major for a down, up, A, down, down, up. And then we're going to be going into our verse, which is mixing up a lot of those same things that we were just talking about. And so it kind of starts on the D, and you got D, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, up, down, up. But then we go to a B dominant 7 chord. The way you play B7 is first finger is going to go to the D on the 1st fret, second finger is going to go to the A on the 2nd fret, third finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, and the pinky is going to go to the high E on the 2nd fret. And if you strum just the A string to the high E string, that'll get you a clear sound of that. That's called a B7. It sounds really, really nasty. It's kind of supposed to. And then on the B7, we're doing that whole strum pattern. So we got B7, down, up, down, up. And then we go to E major, down, down, up, down, up. And then from our verse, we'll be going back into our chorus part. So we got our D, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down. Then we got an A, kill it. And then we got our E major with a down, up, and then an A with a down, down, up. And then we go to a solo part that really kind of follows something called a 12-bar blues form in A. And it's really just kind of mixing up a lot of the things we just talked about. So you got A, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, B, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, up. And then we'll be going back to our chorus part. So we got our D, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, up, A, major, down, up, A, down, down, up. And then we'll be going back to our verse. So we got our D, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, B7, down, down, up, down, E, down, down, up, down, up. Now, just as an aside, and a couple times in the snare part, it almost feels like they're changing into something called a triplet feel. And what a triplet feel is something working off a division of your foot tap by threes. And if you want to kind of follow that in your strumming, actually, you could kind of take the E major and just kind of think down, up, down, up, down, up, and kind of count it in threes. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there are a couple of spots through the song actually maybe where you may want to try and throw that in. But then we'd be back to our chorus again. So we got our D, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, A, kill it, and then E major, down, up, A, down, down, up, and then at the end we kind of have a double chorus, so then we're back to our D, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, A, down, down. And there's a really cool closing lick that Buddy's using where you go 3rd fret on the high E and 5th fret on the B string and kind of play those notes together. And then we slide that down to 2nd and 4th fret. And then we slide it down to 1st and 3rd fret. And then we slide it down to open with 2nd fret. So if you want to kind of add that in, it's kind of 3, 5, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2 and open, and then A major. So that might be something else you want to kind of try to add to kind of mix it up. And then something else that I would like to use through the tune actually is working with bass notes. And what I mean by that is a lot of times on the first down that you're doing in the down, down, up, down, up, you could substitute in a bass note for the chord. So for instance, on the D major, you could play the D string for your bass and then still do your down, up, down, up. So you got D with the D bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass, down, up, down. And then on the A major, you have an A string for your bass. So you got A with an A bass, down, up, down, B with an A bass, down, up, down, A with an A bass, down, up, down. And then on the E major, you have the low E string for your bass. Low E bass, down, down, B with the low E bass, down, down, B with the low E bass, down, down. And when we get to the B7 chord, you have an A string for the bass. Down, down, B7 with an A bass, down, down, B7 with an A bass, down, down. So we tried that through your chorus. You'd have D with the D bass, down, down, B with the D bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, B with the D bass, down, down, big A, and then your E with the down, A, down, down, and then if we tried that through your verse, then you have the D with the D bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, B7 with an A bass, down, down, D with the low E bass, down, down. And then if we tried that through the solo part where it's a little bit different, you got the A with an A bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, D with the low E bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down. Now through the solo though, actually Buddy's doing some really, really cool licks, and they start on 5th fret, or actually you start 8th fret on the high E, and then 5th fret on the high E, and then 8th on the B, and then 5th on the B string, and then we got 7th fret on the G with kind of a bend, so we kind of press it up and into the guitar at the same time. And then at the end, we kind of do a pull off from 7 to 5 on the G, and then go 7 on the D string. So we got 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 7, bend, 7, pull off, 7, 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 7, 7, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 8, 5, 7, 7, 7, 7, 5, 7. And then right after that, then he goes into a little slide lick where you do 4th fret on the B and the G string together and kind of slide those to 5th fret. So we're gonna go in 4, 5, slide, 5, 5, 4, 5, slide. And then after that slide lick, then he's going up to 9th fret on the B string, and then 8th fret on the high E string. And if you play those together, you can kind of slide those up into 10 and 9 on the E and the B string. And then right after that, he kind of goes into some traditional blues licks, which you can actually substitute in for your chords through the song. And he's actually starting on a D lick, like where that D changes in our solo. And the way you play a D blues lick would be to take the first finger and put them on the G string on the 2nd fret and kind of do the D string and the G string at the same time. And then we're going to take the 3rd finger and go to 4th fret on the G string and kind of do those two together. And we're going to do those twice. So it's kind of a 1, 1, 3, 3 that you're doing with the left hand, going from the 2nd fret to 4th fret. And I call that a D lick. And then right after that, then for the A chord, he goes to the D string on the 2nd fret and kind of does that same idea, but on the A string and the D string together. So I call that the A lick. And then right after that, then he comes back in on some solo licks where he goes 7th fret on the high E, and then 5th fret on the high E, and then we go 8th fret on the high E, and then 5th fret on the high E. And then we go B string on the 5th, and we kind of do a hammer on there from 5 to 7. So I'm kind of playing 5th fret and putting my 3rd finger down to carry the sound over it. And then going high E 5th. And then there's a cool little closing lick that's almost like a really cool cliche kind of blues like closer, where you play 7 on the D, and then we're going to go 8th fret slide to 9 on the G, and then high E 9, and then 9 on the G, 8 on the G, 8 on the high E, 8 on the G, and then 7 on the G, and then 7 on the high E, and then 7 on the G, and then 5th fret on the G string and do a hammer on the 6th fret, and then go high E 7, and then he closes that off with kind of an E major 3 times. So at the very end, you got that 7, 8, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 5, 6, 7, E. So that might be kind of some cool licks to kind of add in too. And randomly, what Buddy Holly's actually doing for a lot of the solo is something called an A minor pentatonic scale. And what a pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale. And the 5 notes he's really kind of playing around with, especially in the beginning of the solo, are C's and A's, and then G's and E's, and then D's, and then more C's and more A's, and more G's and more E's, and more D's, and more C's and more A's. So you may want to play around with just that one pattern, and that's something called pattern 1 of pentatonic, where you're going 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. So there are all kinds of licks that Buddy's doing that you could actually kind of make up your own licks with. So you can do hammer-ons through that pattern, where you kind of play the first note with the pick and then kind of let your finger kind of carry the sound. Or you could do pull-offs, for instance, through that, where you kind of play the other side, kind of taking the 8s and doing a pull-off to 5th. So you can play around with pull-offs, or you could try slides, because he does a lot of that where he's got kind of slide licks. So you can even take that pattern and try it with slides all the way through. Or you could even try the bends that we were talking about, where you kind of press into the guitar at the same time. So there's all kinds of ways that you can kind of put those together to make up your own solo for it too. But that's the basics of how you would strum through That'll Be the Day by Buddy Holly. So good luck!